Hello and welcome to Faithful to Race Across the World, where we are here to discuss Series 6, Episode 5. And we are doing our first one this series of catching a plane, which is the number one rule of Race Across the World, which you don't do.
They've done it on previous
I
series.
know.
This is becoming something which is no longer a rule.
No, it's not a rule.
Aye. And also a weird one this episode was that normally when they catch trains, they're the most expensive way of travelling. But now it's the cheaper way of travelling. And trains are like sleeper trains all over the place.
And we had a reminder of Canada as well, because it was taxis.
Well, it was for Andrew and Molly. Poor Molly, she's lost the will to live. Mm-hmm. That sounds a bit dramatic, doesn't it? And also, of poor taste, I apologise for considering one of their life stories tonight on the show. So I do apologise for that comment early on, before the podcast has even begun.
If you didn't mention it, no one would have noticed.
Well, I
That's
feel
the
like
Nigel
I should
Farage
just.
way.
I think I should just own up to my mistakes. Hello, everyone. I'm Alex.
The horrible one, and my name's Ben.
I am on this occasion
the one who's media trained.
He's been given media training, and I've just been sat at home eating crisps.
Did you know I looked up courses for media training? I thought that's something I'd love to do. Like, it interests me. It's like to be media trained, because you always hear about celebrities and like they give interviews and specific answers to questions, and all the comments are like, they're media trained. Paul Baker from Adults, everyone says he's not media trained.
I mean, if you look on Instagram, you can see.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Media trained, yeah, because
So,
he's always insulting.
Do they offer courses, or is it like a secret thing that only people who have like in the industry do?
Isn't it like just people who are like producers of TV shows, like just kind of say, well, don't talk to this newspaper.
No, they do like
newspaper.
fake interviews with you, don't they? And
yeah,
then you
and
answer
they do
them.
tests.
I'd love to do that. I want to do media
like
training.
An old reality TV show thing, wasn't it? Though, like they used to do it a lot on X Factor. Like you actually saw when they did VT packages, you actually saw a fake press conference. Because I remember Ryland, the series of Ryland, and they did a fake press conference with him, and like afterwards they like spoke to the people who were pretending to be, or they were like ex-reporters, and they said he was really good. He was excellent, and then they cut to then Ryland singing a song really pitched badly, and, but they still had a career.
I've got a pitch then. Anyone listening to this who's been media trained, get in touch. We'll do a podcast about how to get media trained.
Yeah,
and I'll do it live on the show.
And then I'd be better media trained, and I wouldn't make silly mistakes all the time with people having a go at me all the time, saying I'm wrong. You can get in touch with us by going to our link tree, linktr.ee
to say how wrong you are.
Yeah, well, interrupting while I'm doing a link is bad media training.
True.
You wouldn't have seen on this morning.
On radio, you don't want dead air because it goes to emergency
but
broadcast.
That was hardly dead air though, was it? Because I was talking. But you wouldn't see Dermot talking over Alison, would you? Likewise, you wouldn't see Alison talking over Dermot.
I don't know.
Get in touch with us on our link tree, linktr.ee/faithful2, and on there you can find all the links of ways you can get in touch with us, and also watch us on YouTube, Spotify, or any of your favourite podcast apps. If you are watching us in video form, don't forget to comment underneath the video and give us a like, thumbs up, and subscription. And if you can subscribe to us on your audio apps as well, and if you like us so much, you want to give us a monetary £5 note. Monetary £5 note? Is that media trained?
No.
You can go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful, and on there you can do that. But I just said £5. Just like, by the way, Ben, just so you know, Jade McQueen.
Oh, from Hollyoaks.
From Hollyoaks.
I'm trying to remember the city it's in, but I can't remember the area. What's it called? Hollyoaks in... Anyway, carry on.
In Hollyoaks, isn't it?
No, it's like Merseyside.
Isn't
it's not
Hollyoaks?
Merseyside.
It's like Hollyoaks is Hollyoaks.
No, but carry on.
Hi, Alex.
Love the McQueens.
What's the Archers? Where's that set?
Wolford.
Okay.
That's
Hi,
what
Alex.
Phil Mitchell owns.
That's where Nigel recently died. Where's
the
my
Archers.
skimming stones? Oh no, you're thinking the Archers.
Yes.
I was saying the Arches. Is that the same spelling?
No.
The soap.
Oh, the radio soap.
The radio soap.
Never watched it.
Farming.
Anyway, get on
Hi,
with...
Alex and Ben. This is from Jade McQueen. Hi, Alex and Ben. We will talk about Race Across the World in a minute. Hope you are doing amazing. Downloaded 3 weeks worth of your podcast and shows for my recent 11-hour flight to Tokyo, and really enjoyed your Apprentice recaps. That's right, we got a full series of The Apprentice under our belts.
3 weeks worth of podcasts. That's a lot of podcasts.
That's a heck of a lot of podcasts.
We do 3 a week, everyone.
I won't say the next bit because it's a spoiler. So if you haven't watched The Apprentice, it will spoil the winner. So I won't say any more. But on another note, Jane McQueen continues to say, we do have a show in the US similar to Race Across the World, and it's called The Amazing Race, where the winning team wins $1 million. We'll be downloading your Race Across the World, Race Across the World podcast and the show for my flight to Los Angeles and comment back. Thanks for your fantastic recaps, Jade. Well, thank you, Jade, for your coffee.
I'm going to Japan, Los Angeles.
I wonder where. I'm presuming Jade's from Los Angeles because she mentions the American series, so she must have flown from Los Angeles to Japan. So would you wouldn't you fly the Pacific, or would you go? I suppose that's the quickest route, isn't it?
Don't know. Sounds
Rather
like
than
geography
flying
to me.
all the way across America, then Europe, then Japan, and then going all the way back again. But that's quite a journey in itself, and that seems like that could be an episode of Race Across the World. But then you'd have to have.
We do know about The Amazing Race, but we've never actually watched it. But a lot of people who American listeners have not watched Race Across the World before until they found this podcast. Then they did watch it, and they're like, "Oh, it's so much better than The Amazing Race."
The only
Race
thing
Across the World has more heart. The Amazing Race is more competition.
Also, it's been going on for longer because before I met you, we've been together a heck of a stint. Too long, some might say, and longer than prison for murder. I hate people who say that. I would have got less for murder.
It's a very boomer. I heard that basically when you're on holiday in Spain, the people in Spain would say that.
Get less for murder. Not the Spanish.
No.
The expats.
Yeah,
Sorry, the immigrants. Not the expats, the immigrants. Yeah, but I remember from Race Across the World, they had that task when they had to catapult the watermelon. It
is that
viral.
from that?
Yeah.
I remember that.
And it went
I thought that was a news report.
into her face. And a lot of people said it was fake, but I don't know. It looked pretty vicious to me.
The news report one I'm thinking of is the woman who's squashing grapes and she falls over and like falls down.
Oh,
the thing.
yes.
Similar
she falls
vibes.
on her face. Yeah. Well, yes, I won't continue. Look, we're going to have to talk about Race Across the World here. Look, and about the fact that...
Where are we going?
So they had to fly from Turkey. Was it Turkey? No,
Georgia.
Georgia. Thank you. Croatia again. I've got Croatia on the brain. Georgia to Kazakhstan because there's a problem with the border and this
Yes,
and
and
the
they
other.
have to travel across the big...
And then from Kazakhstan, they could either go to Turkestan or through Kazakhstan to Uzbekistan, and they had to finish at the Zarmin National Park, which looked beautiful, by the way. It looked absolutely outstanding.
Mark did comment to Margot when she picked her route. He said, well, it's just flat, boring land. What we're looking at now, it's not going to be much different. And it's like, well, maybe you're correct, because after a day and a half on that train, they were like, it's the same landscape still.
Yeah, but Margot didn't mind, did she? Because she was taking shots of vodka.
No.
She was having a wonderful time. Mark was like, I'm quite happy just staring out into the blank landscape.
I mean,
which
last
I
week
about earlier.
we were talking about the miserable men. I'm happy to report this week that Margot took our advice and took control.
Yes, she took a stand and she said, I'm going to make more choices this time, Mark. And
she
you could tell
wants-
Mark was a bit tentative about giving up his control.
Yeah.
It took him a while to get it. He had his ticky tummy. I worried for his tummy again this episode when he was drinking horse meat, eating horse meat, goat's head. Like he was eating the whole spectrum. Like he had an ark load of food on his table.
No. When Margot was planning the route, I was obviously cheering because she was taking control and Mark didn't enjoy it. But she took the route that I was advising not to you on the sofa. That's the route you don't go, but she was doing it. And it did turn out to be the slowest or not a good choice because
it was the slowest because the
they
two
lost
teams,
their
the two teams who took that route were actually that's not true. Kush and Joe took that route and they came second, but they had a lead where Mark and Margot are still strong. No, Mark and Margot.
they were first. Yeah, that's what I
suppose
mean.
that was the slowest route then,
It was.
and they didn't even have the unluckiest travel arrangements either. Molly and Andrew took that medal on this episode with their unfortunate taxi
We'll
events.
talk about them later. Mark and Margot, though.
I'll hold
Keeping
to
you
that.
on track this episode.
We've been rambling since the minute this
Yeah, but from now
press
on.
record. Okay.
She wanted to go to the horse place because she loves horses.
She wants to ride horses. She wants to
She
see
wants to
horses.
feed the horses,
Yeah.
brush the horses, care for the
horses.
horses.
We all want horses.
Do you like horses, Mark? Nah.
They're
He's
all
not-
right.
he-
And then it was like, what are these horses here for? Breeding to be slaughtered. Mark was like, oh, well. Pass me the sausage. Margot's like having a brain, a breakdown.
Breakdown. I know. I don't blame her because that was The food on this episode, all of the food.
I thought it looked really delicious, especially Cushion Joe when they went to that house. I thought that looked really nice with the Taekwondo medalist.
I would have struggled with this leg if I was on the show because it's day 30 for one. It's a long time. I'm haggard.
McDonald's?
I'm haggard. The food was just like, I don't have the time for it.
The food looked fine.
The landscapes was flat and dead
food.
and boring. It's just like, this leg looked tough.
Look, you were having a lovely time numbering the camels. You were confused why they had scorched marks of numbers on them.
I thought
said, surely they'd be bred like cows, so they must have
I thought they were stood on the side of the road, just to have the miles per hour branded on them, and they had to stay in place the whole time.
Well, the camels were signposts.
Yeah, 30 miles per hour.
That's a very expensive highway system, but I get it. I would probably pay more attention.
What happens in Kazakhstan?
I would pay more attention to a camel if I was driving than just a white circle with a red circle around it with a number in the middle.
I think
you're quite right. Maybe we should adopt that in the UK. In the New Forest, they could do it with horses. They could just brand horses with 20.
Then chop them up for me.
Don't you? No, look, we've had a horse meat scandal in the UK, and it went down like a horse meat lasagna.
Didn't go well.
So I don't think we need to talk about that again.
Yeah, so sadly, by the end of the episode, Mark and Margot lost their lead completely. They went from first to fourth. So they were doing so well. They were going up, 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 and then all the way back down.
K-pop demon hunters they were.
They were. Molly and Andrew.
What about them?
Well, I still continuing to feel sorry for Molly because throughout this, it really started to feel like it's not that she was just having a bad day. It was starting to feel like she's not enjoying the show to me. I worried.
For me, I think it was the fact that she wanted to take control. She made the decisions of what they were doing. She made, not a big deal, but she made, she had an opinion that her father was kind of making the trip about him, and she'd had nothing for herself yet. So she wanted to go to a town. She wanted to see, be around more people. She didn't want to be isolated. And unfortunately for her, because of that decision, she was then stuck having to take taxi after taxi after taxi because they kept missing trains all the time.
The bad luck gene hit them.
And so it was a very expensive trip. And I think Molly felt embarrassed. I think Molly felt a bit like, oh, this is all my fault. But to Andrew's credit, he didn't rub it in. He didn't make a big issue of it, and he kind of G'd her up. Another horse
I know, because even when they
reference.
got to the place that she wanted, it was called. It wasn't Shiva, but it was something like that. What was it called? Whatever.
The cat food.
No, Shiva, which is a god, also a summon from Final
Shiva
Fantasy.
is the cat god.
Shiva, but it wasn't Shiva. When they actually got there, the place that she wanted to go, then she was like, "I'm having a really bad day."
Yeah,
and
so she wasn't even enjoying it.
No.
Exactly.
And it was in the middle of nowhere. It was just like, it was just, and then it was like I say, their whole leg was taxis, all really expensive, and they're all crowding around. Although she fought them off, she was all right. There was 20 of them.
The first taxi?
Yeah.
She really held her own. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not paying 100.
Andrew made a deal with a taxi driver, presumably thinking it was $50 for both of them. Taxi driver thought it was $50 for each. So so they got into the car, bless them, and it was $100, and they were like, no way. And then Molly one by one knocked them down like Skittles, saying nope, next, and a couple of them were going. It was proper bartering, they were all trying to get her attention. And eventually, Molly was able to knock someone down to $70. So it was, it was a reasonable amount. But obviously, Molly thought that this would be a one-off taxi. But then when they got to their next destination, they missed the train. So they got another taxi. And then when they got to their next destination, again, they missed the train.
Yeah.
So they had to get another taxi.
Paying for taxi, and then they still ended up third again. So they're not gaining anything.
They would have
been
a lot worse if they hadn't decided to push ahead with the taxis. I mean, they would have been a very distant fourth. And as it is, the difference between first place Kate and Harrison to fourth place Mark and Margot is only 7 hours. I think if Molly and Andrew had basically been right, we'll wait for an overnight train tonight, then I think there'll be a good day behind. And so it would have been a much bigger difference. And I think then they would have had to spend a lot more money. So they made the right decision. They spent the money at the right time. Yeah. Otherwise, they would. I
just hope that Molly starts to enjoy her time more. I'm just getting the feeling like she's almost regretting going with her dad. I don't know. She should have went with her best friend instead or something. I don't know. She
I
just
think she
seems
would have
like not
had
having
this-
like a good time.
It feels like she would have had the same experience. I think she just felt like she had relinquished power to her dad in the sense of the decisions of where they were going and what they were going to do. And then on this leg, her dad had obviously listened to her. And then it went wrong. And so I think, like I say, I think Molly feels a bit like, oh, maybe my dad was right.
Yeah.
And so she
maybe
felt a
I
bit
am
embarrassed.
useless.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't make decisions.
I mean,
Maybe
the opposite
I
happened.
am a woman after all.
The opposite happened with Kush and Joe because Joe kind of pushed to go that certain route and
Yes.
Kush wasn't so sure, but actually it ended up working well. They were sticking to the same plan they did last week, which was homestay, work, homestay, work.
They love
and
their
it seems
homestays,
it
Kush
seems
and
to
Joe.
work. I mean, they're saving loads of money by doing it. I think it's quite a good way to do this because obviously a few episodes ago they lost loads of their budget, and since then it's just been because the homestays you seem to get lots of free lifts, you get free food, yeah,
Free
you
accommodation.
you meet a girl.
I mean,
go
well,
off
that
to
wasn't a homestay, or it might have been a homestay for Kush. I love that Kush was like that. Joe was like his wingman. Joe just stood in the background, kind of rubbing his hands, going, "Go on, Kush, you can do it."
And he was acting all
You have
bashful
beautiful eyes.
in front of the cameraman and the producer, and then he was like, "Just give me 1 minute." It's like, okay.
And behind closed
all
doors, he
it
was like,
takes,
"Right, we're going to
60
meet the mayor."
seconds.
They said when they've done their dance, they're going to come and meet us. He's like, "Oh, hello." Good for him. He's young. He's virile. He
Exactly. He was at a circumcision party. It's what happens.
A double circumcision party.
know.
We found out it was a double whammy. 2 boys had been circumcised.
Yeah.
But oh my god,
Big
I'm not being
celebrations.
funny, but like I would consider it if I was going to get people giving me money.
I know they were getting
Yeah.
loads of gifts, weren't they? Gifts.
I would
I felt sorry for a
easily.
lot
All day
of
long.
the animal cruel. I feel like there's
animal
not,
cruelty.
Yeah, there's not many animal laws in this country because like the eagle was there and that looked panicked,
Oh, I see. I
and there
thought
was
you meant
another
the
animal
slaughtering of
somewhere else.
horses.
No.
I don't think you should ever like because it's
No, but the eagle looked sad, and it was like inside with the
But he was
flashing lights.
rubbing it up and down like that. There's no cats as well. We're missing the cats.
No, exactly.
For the last few episodes, we've been seeing lots of cats. We're missing them and dogs.
We learned a bit more about Kush's background as well.
Yes.
Like it's really sad. Like it was like sad and then double whammy.
It was a really lovely story, actually. It
about-
was like he was able to like talk about it.
because of the homestay. It was with the what was he doing? It was like
What the first
Jiu-jitsu?
homestay?
What was
it
it?
was
Yeah.
it was a
He had a dojo.
businessman and he had a dojo, but he had like a house that it literally looked like a house from a catalogue, and it was crushed velvet everywhere.
yeah.
And
Seems to be the fashion in
it
the
was
country.
the fashion at the time.
Because even the other homestay with someone else, it was the exact same living room.
Yeah, that's the one that Mark and Margot were staying at, and they were like dressing him up in loads of clothes. Margot was just watching, bewildered by the whole occasion.
And this is a country I literally know nothing about. So it was quite. This was
stands.
quite. Yeah, this is quite interesting actually to be able to see all this. Like just even the way they have the table, the long. Every house seems to have that long table, that same room where they do the big dinner celebration.
But they
Like,
have like a Yeah, they have
Yeah.
like special meals. They drink milk from wine
Question mark?
glasses. Well, we weren't sure if it was milk or it was like some kind of creamy drink, like a banana yogurt that you get from Lidl. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
ones you get in the
I did
bottle.
wonder if it was alcohol, but then Kush was having it and he doesn't drink, so maybe it is milk or
milk.
coconut water. Who knows?
The coconut water is more wet. Milk's more.
If only the voiceover let us know what it was. But
Well, yes. In future, please tell us, what are they drinking? Let's make it specific.
but it was sweet to learn a bit more about Kush's background and how he's sort of gone through quite an ordeal and quite a lot from like such a young age, and like from when he was 1 and then again when he was 14, losing his dad and his stepdad.
Yeah, 1, and then his stepdad took his life when he was 12 or I was gonna say 14. Sorry.
During lockdown as well, and it's just like it's
Yeah.
such like a
Which is another horrible lockdown story. Like there's so many. Like it was a really horrible hard. You forget that like 2020. I say this all the time. You forget like that was 6 years ago. It feels like forever ago. Do you know what I mean? It feels like it happened 20 years ago. Like time's completely changed.
the
Since
timeline shifted. Everyone says it.
it's true.
The universe altered during that
It's
year.
really weird, and you just forget what a weird and crazy time that was.
So, well, maybe we need to learn a bit more about Joe next time because Joe's the wingman. He didn't
Joe's
get the
the
girl.
wingman. Well, we
He's
don't
always
know
there
that.
for
There were 2
That's
girls.
true.
It's
They didn't
just-
seem to ask him any questions.
They
though.
both like Kush though, didn't
It's like
they?
Kush, your eyes are beautiful.
Your eyes are beautiful.
Thank you.
Joe stood outside making sure no one knocks on
And
the
there was the
hotel
woman on the
door.
train trying to fatten him up. She said, "You're not going to get any girls in this country." And then
That's
he got off the train and got a girl.
He bit the old woman's sausage. He dipped some bread in her yogurt, and then lo and behold, the luck of the country came to him.
So who was right? Maybe that meal set him off.
Grands love to feed people out, don't they? I was saying to you on the sofa, my nan used to. It's literally, I'd walk through the door and the biscuit tin was put in my hand.
No, my nan used to say it to my brother. It's like, he's a growing boy, and it's like, he's 25. I think he's grown.
Yeah, but I used to love visiting
I
my
think
nan.
it's done.
I used to love it. My granddad hated it because he used to think that, like, he basically used to say, "Oh, here we go, £20 out of my pocket," and I'd be eating everything: cereal, biscuits, shredded wheat, and toast. When I stay at my nan's house,
Hot chocolate.
no, they'd have a cup of tea though on a tray. They'd walk in the evening with bread and butter. She'd have like a plate of bread
Well,
and
she
butter.
shouldn't have been giving you caffeine that late,
Oh, well, I was happy.
but here we are.
Maybe it was very milky tea. To be fair to my nan,
True.
may she rest in peace.
So Kate and Harrison got back up to first place after being fourth.
They did.
Surprise, surprise.
But also surprise, nothing really came. Like, nothing happened with them. Like, the most interesting thing was Kate calling him boring and Harrison taking real offence to it. Like, I didn't really feel like anything happened.
There's a lot of things with Harrison where I think there's more going on with Harrison.
That meets the eye.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot, they keep hinting towards how I think he must have used to be very shy, very not antisocial, but very sort of doesn't like to talk.
Anti-establishment.
No, doesn't like to talk to people and feels uncomfortable in those situations. And this is sort of forcing him to do this quite a lot, especially on the train. And he met that guy. I mean, football was the international language, but he met that guy who like gave him his medal, and then he said, "Oh, I'm going to send you my medal."
Yeah,
so
for running half marathon.
So it is nice to see they're such brother and sister relationship. The way
Proper
that she,
vibes between
the way
them,
that she talks to him and literally says, "You're boring," and
Yeah.
it's funny.
And he accepts it, but you can tell he's a little bit hurt. And he's in his mind, he's basically backing that up later for some ammunition that he's going to shoot at his
and
sister later.
he almost comes across like the grumpy old man in a way.
He is grumpy old man vibes, to be fair.
But you kind of...
You root for him.
You're kind of like,
Yeah.
You're a grumpy old man. I see a lot of myself in him, so I'm not too negative. I'm like, I understand all of the things you're saying.
Ben is a grumpy old
On
man.
this.
I will back that one up. But yeah, no, I think this is a real learning curve for having. Like, you can tell Kush and Joe are very confident. Like we from like episode 1 or 2 when Joe just walked onto a basketball court and just started playing basketball with like some random stranger. And you and I both said it was like, how the heck? Like, I could never. And Margot's a very confident woman around people. Like, and
Vodka for breakfast.
Mark's quite confident to talk about. Like, once you get Mark talking about something, then that's him on a roll. Hence why Mark and Andrew are
when
such
it's his
good friends.
choices. When it's Margot's choices, not so much. He turns a bit grumpy again.
Completely different. And you can tell that Kate and Molly seem to have found a bond. So like the odd one out is Harrison. So and you know, so in the hotel I feel like Harrison's kind of pulled away from everyone
But also I
else
feel
as well.
like Harrison doesn't care. He's like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win my £10,000.
Oh, 100%. Harrison is there
He's
to win the
business.
prize money. He is business. And he said himself, he's like, you know, my parents didn't... It was not, again, I wouldn't say this is arrogance, but it's kind of like, look what I can do. Like, he's basically said, like, my parents didn't really earn a lot of money. I now earn more than them, so they come to me for money. So it's not the bank of mum and dad anymore, it's the bank of Harrison. And so...
That's not quite fair. I think he was saying, like, because they moved a lot, they've gone to lots of different houses.
No, look,
and stuff.
that's what I mean. I'm not saying Harrison's
I think
being
it's been.
rude.
I
for
think it's
saying
no,
it.
but I think in him it's been drilled into him like you have to. Number one priority is get the work done, get the money in, and that's shown itself in the way that he's handled the budget and things and the decisions on this leg. But like, he's very sort of stubborn, set in his ways with that particular angle of the show. Where Katie wants to be a bit more free and fun and loving.
She wants to be more flying.
He doesn't quite. He's still not quite letting her go, and it's over the halfway mark now. And it's like
He is letting go though.
yeah, but it's so little. Like, you're going to run out of time.
But he's almost doing it just to kind of appease Katie a little bit. But like you saying, like, because it was early on, wasn't it, in the series when like they had that conversation and Harrison said that they moved a lot, or you think that then Harrison would be better at adaptation, but obviously Harrison's kind of like way of like confronting a change is basically to go into his shell and kind of just do his own thing. Hence why he's able to in his mind, he's able to just distance himself from this game and know that it's all about the money.
Well, it's quite a similar thing to contestants last year. It was the two sisters, and they said we moved a lot, and one of them was very travelly, moved away. One of them was very home girl, weren't they?
Well, she was upset because her sister had moved away, and it was like her informative years, and so she felt like she lost someone who could have helped her.
So it's similar sort of story with those two, I guess. But
Harrison's had to do it for himself, and Katie's accepted help. Harrison's not.
But there's also I know they have the sibling rivalry of calling each other boring and being mean to each other, but there's something going on, because there's been a few comments when Katie's like, well, I actually helped mum quite a lot, and then he was like, no you didn't, I did, and she was like, I don't think he quite sees what she did. So there's a conversation that I feel
that goes back to him saying about him earning all the money.
There's a conversation that's going to happen, I think.
His way of helping is money, isn't it? His is very capitalistic idealism, while Katie's is more nature and nurturing. Yeah.
So there's going to be on top of a mountain. That's when it's going to happen.
Right.
Or by a lake.
It'll be by a lake or some kind of body of water.
Or when they're shoveling shit from a horse. That's when some of these chats happen sometimes, when they're doing the labour.
Yeah, well, that's true, because they're tired. But normally it's when they've had a really high tense moment, and then all of a sudden they've got a moment, and then that's when it all comes out. Spills out.
Do you think Kate and Harrison are now just going to win the show? Now they're back into first place. They were 19 hours behind. They're back into first straight away.
Yeah, I do have hope, because there is very little distance. Like, I think first, Kush and Joe are only an hour behind them.
Kush and Joe are growing on me, actually. I think their lack of budget isn't as big of an issue maybe as we thought. I think as they get further on in the countries, travel's getting cheaper.
Well, actually, I think they were really smart now, especially after seeing this leg with Molly and Andrew, where they've been spending a little bit of money with their taxis. I think they were quite smart. I think they spent the money at the right time. They did it on the leg where there was an elimination, and since then they've been earning. So they are adding up, and I don't think the budgets are that different from one another.
No, they've evened out a bit.
I do think Kate and Harrison still have the healthiest budget of the four, though. I have to say, I think if Kate and Harrison continue having the healthiest budget to the end, then of course in the final they're just going to plough themselves.
It might be one of those things where it's like the final and they have loads of money left and he still won't spend it. Sometimes contestants do that, don't they? They end it and they have like £400 left. And it's like, if you spent it, you could have got there sooner. So he might over budget himself and end up coming second.
Maybe Harrison thinks that whatever money they have left over, he gets to keep
for himself,
for his custard cream safe back at home, and his tea.
Let us know what you guys thought of the race so far, what you thought of Kazakhstan, and who you think is going to possibly win. Is it in the bag now? Because they've won all of them bar one episode so far, Kate and Harrison.
Well, there's many a hurdle still to overcome. So get in touch with us on our Linktree, linktr.ee/faithful2. As I say, if you're watching us on video form through the links on YouTube or Spotify, you can comment underneath the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell. If you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite podcast apps, please don't forget to subscribe on that as well. Tell your friends if you're enjoying watching this with them as well, the TV series, obviously, and this podcast. We don't just do this podcast, we do plenty of other podcasts, so just scroll down a little bit and check out what else we do. You might find something you might like. And if you want to help us monetarily, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful, and on there you can give us a £5 one-off or monthly donation, which also helps with the show. And thank you to everyone. Oh, and also if you attach a comment to that £5, we guarantee that we'll read it out on the podcast as well.
Yeah, even if you're going to LA or Japan.
Yes, and why didn't you ask us if we wanted to come? Rude.
Yeah, so if you want more of us, go check out our recap of The Neighbourhood. We talk about that new series with Graham Norton.
We do.
Short podcast, and we give our opinions on that mess. So
it's a beautiful day in the neighbourhood. A beautiful day for a neighbour.
So go listen to that. And until next time, goodbye.